Hero pools are one of the most underrated tools to improving and ranking up in Overwatch. I have used hero pools in the past, definitely recently been a bit of a victim of someone who isn't making a hero pool, but that doesn't matter. In today's video, I want to explain what a hero pool is, the benefit of using a hero pool, and how you can make your own hero pool. I'm going to say the word hero pool a lot, so just get used to it. Let's dive into it. Instead of playing a huge range of characters and roles, or even just one singular hero, a hero pool enables you to be able to flex a little bit, right? We're not talking about flexing a ton, like playing all the heroes in the game, but we're able to find a nice little bubble where we're able to kind of do everything, but we're not overwhelmed by choice or overwhelmed by the fact that we have to learn so much. Now, depending on your rank, a hero pool will be a different number of characters, but typically I'd say it averages at around 3. That's a hero pool, right? You want 3 different heroes all in the same role. I think depending on the rank, it can change. I think below gold, you should honestly focus on one hero. And I said earlier, maybe not just playing one, but I think you should really focus on one hero. And then below diamond, you can do 2. And then below masters, you can do 3. And even up to GM, 3 is fine. It's only really maybe even professionally, you might want to add in a 4th. But at the exact same time, those professional and champ players are still running just the 3. You do not need to learn every hero in your role. You just don't. Tank players definitely have to be far more flexible, but just to rank up and hit high ranks, you really don't need to learn all these roles. I definitely say one tricking can be dangerous and something that if you really love, go for. But I would say you're going to greatly benefit from finding your own personal hero pool. Why would you want a hero pool? It streamlines your gameplay. It just makes it so you can turn your brain off a little more and you don't have to think about your heroes as much. You can load in and you can be like, these are the 3 heroes I'm going to play or 2 heroes I'm going to play, and I don't have to think about it. It just makes it easier to improve, easier to figure out what you have to work on, and easier to go into each game and practice something, which overall will make it easier to rank up and improve. That's why you want a hero pool. You want to rank up, you want to get better at the game. I know you do, that's why you're here. So hero pools are here to help you. And the reason you might want to pool not just one character is that long-term success over multiple heroes is greatly stronger than just being good at one hero. It makes you a more well-rounded player. It gives you more opportunities. It also means that later down the road, if you do want to learn a new hero, you're going to be a little more advantageous in learning that new hero. If you one trick all the way up to GM and you put 1,000 hours into Torbjorn, right? So that's what you did. And then suddenly you're kind of like, I kind of want to learn Echo. You're going to struggle so much more to learn Echo now than you were if you would set up a hero pool when you were plat or diamond and then you had grown together. Because not only do you get good at multiple heroes, you get good at learning multiple heroes. You improve on the skill of practicing and improvement. Also, having multiple heroes means you can cover your weaknesses. So say you play a character that is only good in close range. So say you play Reaper, but then you get Junkertown or you get Circuit, and these maps are a little more difficult for Reaper. You might want a character that can cover his weaknesses a little bit. It also makes the game more enjoyable, feel more fresh, playing new heroes. Contrast is what makes dopamine. And so you kind of want a bit of contrast in your games. And if the game's more enjoyable, you're learning more and you're improving. So win, 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 win. Hero pools are great. Now let's move on to how to make your own hero pool, and I will kind of anecdote myself a little bit. If you already have a hero that you love and that you would consider yourself a main, that's great, that's incredible. But if not, that's also fine. We can work with that. And again, like I said, if you really, really want a one trick, you absolutely hate every other hero apart from Reinhardt, be my guest. Be my guest. If that's really what you want to do, if that makes the game fun, then fun beats everything else in terms of enjoyment, in terms of improvement. Now, simply put, making a hero pool is going to be really, really easy, but I'll break down it a little more. I'm just going to give the baseline first. Simply, you want to find a hero you like, and then another hero you like. You don't want to deep it too much, right? Some people might get a little bogged down in this and be like, yeah, but I play this character, but then this character synergizes with this one, and I want to be a flex DPS player later on, so I've got to learn Tracer Genji, but I don't like Genji that much, so but I want to play a bit of his game. Don't worry about it too much. If you want to just rank up and improve, just pick a couple heroes that you enjoy the most. How do you find those heroes? This is genuinely something that I've struggled with and I don't see a lot of people talk about. I can find it really difficult to actually find the hero that genuinely speaks to me. I really enjoy the game of Overwatch, which means I kind of just enjoy everyone. Like finding the main, finding the heroes that I love takes me a bit of time. And so I want to go over some of the methods I used when I was shaping. I did 2 different DPS pools 2 different times, and I've done a support pool and tank. I find a hot mess and find really difficult. You're going to want to find initially either off of a practice range or you've played a couple games of this character, 5 even more heroes that you are interested in. So a while ago, for me, I'm reading this off, it was like, oh, I kind of like Sombra, Tracer, Mei, Pharah, Hanzo, Sim, and Reaper. I was like, oh, and Ashe. And I was like, oh, I like those characters. That's too big of a pool, man. There is no professional player playing that many heroes. That is terrible. You cannot learn all those characters. It's just not going to work. It's going to be like trying to learn how to swim while strapped to a car. It's just not going to work. Like, maybe you'll get some progress, you might paddle a little bit, but eventually you'll drown. That's what it'll feel like. So what do you do in this example? If you've got your few heroes that you're interested in, play legitimately full focus for 10 games on each of these characters. If you cannot make it to the 10th, then clearly this hero is not for you. So that one's obvious enough. The reason I want you to be full focused is because it's very easy just to be like, oh, I'll just chuck on a podcast, grind out some quick play games. Oh yeah, no, Hanzo was fine. Yeah, sure. Tick box, put him in the pool. But no, do you enjoy genuinely putting your entire mind power into this hero? Do you go into that game and you're excited to learn how to play this character in this matchup on this map? Even if the map and the matchup are not good for the hero, you still put your full focus into figuring out how to do it and learning the skills of the character. If that doesn't sound like fun for that hero, then they're not deserving of being in the pool. I did this quite a while ago with Mei. I did 10 full focus games in ranked, which I recommend at least half of these 10 games being in ranked. Preferably all of them, but I know that people feel bad for throwing games. So sure, do them in quick play, but I would recommend at least 5 to be in ranked. But I did about 8 ranked games of Mei with full focus, really thinking precisely about everything that I was doing. And it was really fun. I was like, this is actually really fun. I'm thinking, well, this perhaps tough. I've got to be a little more creative with my war. Maybe I want to use war to benefit my angle and less so cut someone off because it's Junkertown. How can I cut any of these angles off? It's too wide, it's too open. And so you start having to think like that. And then once you enjoy the process and you enjoy thinking like that, you go, aha, that's a character I want to keep around more. Now, she's not been someone I've practiced too much recently. I definitely just enjoyed her partly then, but it's someone I definitely keep my, eye out for. And I'm like, I'll play some Mei here. I played 10 full focus Hanzo games and I was like, I couldn't get past the 6th. I was like, this is just not it. It feels uncomfortable half the time. I don't enjoy him. And I just find he's not fun into difficult stuff. I just did not enjoy playing Hanzo in any other scenario than Circuit Royale. Like, it just wasn't fun. And I was like, yep, played some sim games and it was okay. But after the 10th, I was like, I'm going to go play Sombra. I just didn't feel like playing sim any more than that. And that's another sign. Probably not for the pool. I played some Pharah games and Pharah was like, this is really fun, but half the time it's not that fun and it's really difficult to figure out if it's matchup specific. So I'm keeping her there in case I ever want to learn Pharah, but she's not a direct pool. I cannot emphasize enough though, it needs to be a serious environment. You really need to be using your mind and like really locked in these games. Because if you're not, then you're not getting exposed to what it's like to actually play these characters seriously. Your hero pool, you want to be able to get a perfect hero pool that you are going to focus on, for your rank up experience. If you do not give the time in the initial 10 games to focus on your hero, then how are you going to give that time for the next year or so, few seasons, right? You're just not going to be able to. You've got to enjoy the process of figuring out, enjoy the process of learning. That's the most important. If you feel excited to learn about the character, they're amazing. They're perfect. You've got to enjoy the learning process. To add, I lost those Mei games and I still enjoyed it. So that is proof. If you lose most of those 10 games, but you still feel like you were thinking and you were enjoying the process, yeah, perfect hero, throw it in there. Now, curveball, what if you do this and you actually enjoyed 5 or 6 heroes? Quite rare. It's quite rare. I think if that happens, you perfectly, I don't think you'd evenly like them all. I'd recommend, honestly, pull up a tier list and just try with your gut reaction, rank which one you found more fun. And you're going to have to be harsh and just cut some of the bottom guys. You're going to have to be like, look, I had lots of fun with you, but you're just not as good as Orisa. You're gone. Orisa stays in the pool. Goodbye, Hazard. Something like that, right? You want to do that. Okay, how do we practice this? Super important. Practice is how you improve at anything, how you improve at this stupid thing. Right? You have to practice. So now you have 2 heroes or 3 heroes or just the one because you're on bronze, and that's fine. You know, absolutely fine to learn the one. How do we do this? We need to learn the basics. I would then take a little step back, no pressure, just play a few games and just get a feel for things. Maybe think out loud a little bit. So maybe it's your first time playing Sombra. You're going to be like, what happens if I translocate here? What happens then? Oh, okay, that's probably not too good there. There's this virus goes this far. My fall off is this. You're just going to get a feel for how your character works. You're just kind of like, you're just kind of testing the waters a little bit. You're kind of like, what does this do? If I relate this to guitar, kind of like picking up your guitar and being like, look, I'm not going to learn anything yet, but like, what does this string sound like? Okay, yeah. The E string sounds like that. The A sounds like that. The, you know, okay, that's kind of cool. What happens if I put my finger here? Yeah. Oh, it slides weirdly. That's quite cool, actually. And if I put these two together, oh, that sounds quite nice. It's stuff like that, right? You just kind of, you're just kind of in a relaxed environment trying to figure out how things go. And then, again, with a guitar example, maybe you go, okay, I think I've got a good grasp of, like, you know, that's how that feels. This is how the guitar feels. Let's learn some chords. And it's the same exact thing with your heroes. And what you're going to want to do is, because you're learning multiple heroes, right, is you're going to want to find a concept that you can learn on all of these heroes. There are guide content out there that can give you a bit more specific advice here. I'm going to give you something that can apply to pretty much every hero that I think you should just, if you don't know where to start practicing. Cover usage, off angles. So are you taking off angles, right? What angles are you taking? Just focus on taking angles. And then 3, playing at your effective range. Stuff like that. Those are 3 that I could throw out there. And then you could also manage cooldown management and timing your engages. Those are 5 concepts that apply to pretty much everyone in the entire game. And so if you don't know where to get started, those are good things. And what you want to do is you're going to go into each of your games and you're going to have maybe a list, physically write down a list or mentally have a list on, okay, on May, I'm going to practice, you know, like block usage, like not wasting block, not griefing my block, you know, not greeding it or whatever, right? That's going to be my focus. Tracer, it's going to be on blink management. I don't want to use too many blinks this game. That type of thing, right? Sombra, I really need to improve my cover usage on Sombra. You load into your game, and you get your map, and you go to Rado. Yeah, I'm going to play Sombra this map. My focus this game is going to be on cover usage. And then you just spend 20 minutes or so, however long the game goes for, and all you focus on is cover usage. And then next map, maybe I get King's Row. I'm like, I'm going to play May this map. Let's focus on block. That type of thing. And so long as you still have these concepts going, you can always be practicing these heroes just at the rate that they naturally come up on so you feel less pressured. You just always have something to work on. Whatever hero you want to play, you practice. That is it. You don't have to necessarily go in and say, today I only practice Tracer. Just play the game, and then when you get a character, just have something to focus on. What you'll find is you'll actually enjoy the game more, and you won't be frustrated with losses, because now your focus is not on winning, your focus is on whatever concept you're practicing. And that can greatly improve how the game feels. That is all. Enjoy, go make yourself a hero pool. Have an amazingly fun time with it. Go practice. I will try to be very active in this comment section to respond to any questions anyone might have. I would love to answer. So see you on the next one, and peace out.